Hello and welcome to another episode of Tiva Drive, and today we are testing this 2025 Volvo EX30 rear-wheel drive Ultra. As usual, this being the top model. The Volvo EX30 is available in both rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, and you have three different levels of equipment. You have the pure, it's not the pure, what is it called, the basic one? Anyway, core, sorry, it's called the core. Then you have the Plus, and then you have the Ultra. The difference between the bottom and top is about 10 grand and different levels of equipment. So this particular rear-wheel drive in its core version starts at 57,000. It used to start at 55. However, due to the Chinese car tariffs that were implemented October 1st, the car price went up to 57. So not much, about 3 grand or so. So it's starting at 57 for the core version, the rear-wheel drive, and then you can get the Plus all-wheel drive at around 62, 63. If you want to go Ultra all-wheel drive, then it goes up to about 67. And that's the car that's, I think, the best deal, because this one here is they are both equipped with the 69 gross, 65 net size battery in kilowatt hours, of course. The horsepower is 268 for the rear-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive version is all the way up to 422 horsepower, which gives it about 3.5 seconds from 0 to 100. This rear-wheel drive has a rated acceleration of 5.1 seconds. In terms of the range, the rear-wheel drive is rated at 420 kilometers, and the all-wheel drive is rated 410 kilometers. Well, of course, when we jump in to take you for a test drive, we'll tell you about the results of our testing in winter conditions. We're December 1st, however, we just got our first snowstorm, so we'll tell you how that went. Of course, this particular car is equipped with the top-of-the-line rims and tires, so these are winter tires, which of course affect consumption, but these are 20-inch and 245 wide 20-inch rims. So this is the largest rim available for the Volvo EX30, which affects the range as well. We are actually going to compare it for you with another brand new arrival in the pure electric field, and that is the Mini Countryman SE. So we're going to do a side-by-side. We'll compare the sizes, performance, prices, etc., etc. For you. So stay tuned. For now, let's jump inside and give you our impressions of the interior. Hello again to another DC fast charging session here at Battery Electrified Canada, getting our freebie courtesy of our Audi e-tron. However, today we have with us, as you can see, the Volvo EX30 rear-wheel drive Ultra version. We plugged in at 48%, and we're getting only 51 kilowatts at 49%. We're gonna probably just take it up to about 80 or so. So not spectacular. The top speed of this car is about 150 kilowatts, likely at a much lower state of charge. Also, we could not precondition because the Google system is offline, so we could not even set navigation for this charger, which would likely precondition the battery. So that's about it. The consumption on the highway was quite high. As you can see, we have winter tires on the car, and that may have affected, of course, the consumption. It's cold, just around freezing mark, with a strong northwesterly wind, so a bit of a headwind. Consumption was all the way up to 26 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, so that's quite high for such a small electric car. Anyway, so stay tuned for the full review and a comparison with another electric car. So we won't keep you guessing for much longer, but we will do a side-by-side with another recently launched electric car. Okay, see you there. Okay, so here we are comparing these two cars for Tiva Drive. We have the Volvo EX30 this week, and we're gonna compare it with this Mini Countryman SE that just came out, and we're gonna get it to fully test probably in the next few weeks. However, we wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, so we took a few pictures, and we just want to show you the difference in the in the interior space. So the price is almost identical. It's 57 grand starting for the rear-wheel drive Volvo versus 59 grand for the all-wheel drive Mini Countryman SE. 65 net in both cases, 65 net size battery, kilowatt hours. Horsepower is 268 for the Volvo on the rear-wheel drive and 300 horsepower for the Mini Countryman SE in its basic form. So they all come in all-wheel drive standard. Where the Volvo you have to pay about 3 grand more, but it only comes in the Ultra package, so it ends up being 10 grand more, which means the all-wheel drive system will make it more expensive than the Mini Countryman SE, even though it's a smaller car. So let's first of all show you the interior of the Volvo. So the space here in the front is no problem. It's a fixed glass sunroof. No problem in terms of the front space. Now the seat is positioned in my comfortable position. The issue is that once I'm positioned comfortably in the front, there's literally no space for legs in the back row. So you have some of my junk from the cottage trip today in the snow, and you will know all about the winter driving and consumption and everything in our post, in our full review. For now I'm just showing you the space, and there's literally no space for me to sit in the back when the front seat is comfortable. So let's just close that up. Then we can also compare the trunk space. Obviously it's a smaller car. You can see my couple of bags, 3 bags, and that's it. So good for about 2 carry-ons and another bag, where the trunk in the Mini Countryman SE is definitely larger, and there is storage under the floor here. There you go, for cables and emergency kit, tire kit, etc, etc. The Volvo has some space under the floor, but it's not substantial. There you go, there's the space under the floor, and it doesn't want to go back in for some reason. Okay, so let's show you now the interior space in the Mini. So this seat is now positioned comfortably for my driving position. By the way, the sunroof here, panoramic sunroof, does open, where the Volvo it's fixed. Here is the interior, so comfortably positioned for myself. 6'3", 190 centimeters. Just like in the Volvo, you have the center screen controlling everything pretty much, and then the difference is you have a head-up display that comes standard in the Mini, where you don't have any such thing in the Volvo. So let's show you the rear space in the Mini right now, and here I can actually sit in the back. It's definitely tight, but it's doable. Where in the Volvo there's just no way that another person can fit behind me when I'm positioned in the front in a comfortable position. So definitely Mini Countryman SE is a bigger car. Okay, so that's about for side-by-side comparison. Let's jump in the Mini and take you for a quick spin. This will be just our first impressions, because we'll get a Mini Countryman SE from BMW HQ very soon. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're inside a 2025 Mini Countryman SE, as you can see. So let's see, how do we turn on the car? Like this?
Yes. So as you can see over here, Mini decided to come back to the roots of the brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So old school Minis has such type of central console, right?
Yeah. So is the car on now? Because
yes, it's actually not on now because we plugged to the charger.
Oh, okay. So let me just quickly disconnect. I forgot to disconnect.
Sure.
Okay, so just give me 1 second. Okay, so we're back. Now we can finally drive. So this is basically the same car as the BMW iX1, which we drove in London, UK. last year, so we have a video about that one already. So it's basically the same car, but it looks obviously different inside and outside, but the platform and mechanics are all the same. So this is 69 gross, 65 net battery, right, approximately?
Yeah.
And what's the horsepower? Around 300 horses?
Yeah, something like that.
300 horsepower, about 5.5 seconds, versus the Volvo, which has 5.1 seconds, but it's a smaller car, and it's a rear-wheel drive. And this one here in the Mini comes standard with all-wheel drive, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
A Mini Countryman, right? So
Countryman
yes.
SE, yeah. Okay, now we go. Now we got power.
Yes.
So basically, this is your switch.
This is your switch, yeah,
to
like
turn on and turn off.
Exactly.
And this is your gear shifter.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Okay, and we are in drive.
We are in drive.
And you can maybe show. Let me just show the head-up display. I don't know if you can. You cannot see it on the phone, unfortunately, but there's a nice head-up display with all the basic information. Okay, so I'll hand it back to you. There you go. So yeah, we're good to go. Unplugged from the charger. Let's go and see how it feels. How do we turn on? Because now it's creeping forward. How do we turn on? I think we just put it in B. There we go. Yeah. So that's a typical BMW shifter, D and B. The first time you put it in drive, it's in normal drive with a creep on, and then you put it in B. It's a one-pedal driving. So it's the same as all the electric BMWs. We tested, the Mini Cooper SE, the two-door version, and it was very pleasant. The next generation Cooper SE probably won't come for another couple of years because it's made in China, so it won't be coming. But that Volvo is made in China and it's still coming here, so I'm not sure how they did it. But anyways, I think BMW decided.
Left, yes.
BMW decided to wait until the production moves to the UK. Instead of China. So we have the heating on at 23, that's okay. How do we check the consumption on the screen? Can we get the consumption up on the screen somehow?
So you can see the range left, right, and if you will go over here, that's the consumption. Yes.
Okay, so 21.9. So basically, yeah, the estimated rated range for the Countryman SE is about 340 kilometers.
Yeah, 340, 350. Still, it depends on the weather condition
course.
and your driving style, right?
And the Volvo officially is 420, but as people will find out when we publish the video, the results of our winter test drive, it's nowhere near that. So in actual fact, I think, should we just go straight?
So we can actually go straight, yeah.
Yeah, okay. In actual fact, the range of these two cars will be much closer than the rated ranges because there's a lot of similarities. The similar size battery, around 64, 65 net in both cases. Horsepower is 268 for the rear-wheel drive Volvo, 300 for this one. This car is slightly bigger, so it's obviously heavier, so probably there's gonna be some difference. The Volvo will have a slightly longer range, but it won't be as much as the rated, because the rated difference is 80 kilometers difference. So I don't think it's gonna be that in actual testing. So it should come pretty close. Anyways, yeah, unfortunately today is Saturday, so there's a lot of traffic. I think it's gonna be the same if we go to Lakeshore. It's gonna be the same issue probably, right?
Yeah.
With the traffic.
Yeah.
And this is not a through street, is it?
So I think it's gonna be one way. So it's better to go straight, and then around Coxwell we can turn on a Lakeshore, right?
Okay. So basically here, so what are the options on the screen? So you just turn it. So this is your autopilot.
Yes.
So you have the autopilot is standard, or the adaptive cruise is standard in the Mini Countryman SE?
Yeah, so, and obviously if you get in an upgraded version, you have Assistant Driving Plus, which allows your car to steer itself on a highway, merge the distance between cars, obviously, but it's still not the fully pilot.
Okay, so the Assist Plus on the BMW gives you basically a hands-free operation on some highways.
Yeah.
Is this the case here with the Mini Countryman SE? Can you get the Assist Plus system with that's fully hands-free?
So sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, it actually comes with fully hands-free, right? Just wanna make one note that you should still keep your hands on the steering
wheels.
wheel. Yeah.
Okay, so BMW is a little bit different because when you get the full Assist Plus package, then you can be completely hands-free in a BMW. But it's a separate package that you have to pay for.
Yeah.
It's not standard.
Yeah.
So here you have the standard is you still have an adaptive cruise, right?
Yeah.
It's a standard equipment.
Yes.
Okay. So that's fine, but then if you want to get the auto steer, then it comes in the package.
Yeah. So
Okay.
actually, how you get in auto steering, right? You should get an option with 360 cameras,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So you have camera up front, you have
Okay.
camera in mirrors.
So the car starts at 59 grand, naked car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without options. And you can spec it out, probably you can spend another 10, 15 grand in different options, right?
Yeah.
To spec it out.
Yeah.
So like this car probably is around 70. And most of the cars, when I looked online on your dealership, the cars in stock, they were mostly, around the 70 mark, right? So
Yeah.
they had about 10 grand worth of options.
Yes.
Okay, so if we go back to the screen, so this is the display for the autopilot. This is a clock. Oh, there we go. So we have to go the other way. This is your consumption screen, which is nice. 21.9. We haven't reset it, so we don't know exactly
Yeah.
what we're using. Is there instantaneous?
Sorry, that's CarPlay. Yeah, can you say it again?
So basically, your instantaneous consumption. This is just shows here, but it doesn't show you the instantaneous consumption. Does it?
So I actually should look for this question to provide
That's
you
okay.
the...
That's okay. No problem. So then you have the weather screen. Then what is this screen?
So Spike, it's your personal assistant, right?
Ah,
So
okay.
you can call him and you can ask him, Spike, navigate me to the closest charging station, navigate me to the restaurant, and he will help you out.
So should we turn here?
We're still going straight.
Yeah, all the way to Costco. Okay.
Sorry.
So this just pops up automatically. This is from your phone.
That's
right?
from my phone. My phone is connected, right?
Okay, so then it automatically when you're not using the screen, the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto will just come up automatically on your screen, right?
So why this screen is coming up right now? Because I'm getting notification and messages, right?
Oh.
So as you can see, it's notified me that I receive a message, and then it's coming back to the main screen.
Okay, so this is the assistant. So what is this screen?
This is a screen for either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay.
Oh, I see. Okay. This is the onboard navigation, which is independent from your Android Auto again, navigation comes standard or in a package?
The navigation comes standard.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's good because in some cars, like my Audi, for example, it doesn't come with navigation. The basic Q4, you have to pay extra for Audi MMI. So it's nice to see that the Mini Countryman SE comes standard with the navigation. And then finally, this is.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's notification about red light camera.
Okay, and it's in Ukrainian.
Yes.
There you go. Anyways, okay, so that's basically it. It just says right here that it's a couple Apple CarPlay.
Right,
If it was Android Auto, it would say Android Auto
Yes.
on it. If I were to connect my car, and then you can change the ambience. How do you change the ambience to different colors?
It's experience mode. So
Okay.
it's not only changing the colors of your central console, it's changing the whole behavior of the car.
Okay,
So we have actually 7
modes.
modes plus one extra one.
So
Let's say we are in
Let's turn down the radio because
on which one?
the radio came up. So can we turn
Oh,
down the radio? No, yeah, don't turn it off. Turn it off. Okay.
So it's not a radio.
Oh, it's not the radio.
Yeah, it's
a
just
sound,
sound
Oh,
of
okay, okay.
each experience mode, right?
Okay, so let's show that. So this is the core mode. Okay.
This is core mode.
Yeah.
This is go
Go-kart.
kart mode. This is green mode.
Green
basically
mode, which is
saving
eco.
Yes.
Personal.
So what does it personal mean? You can actually adjust like
Settings. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
and you can put, let's say, your picture
Yeah.
on the central console, right? So what we have else? We have Vivid mode.
Vivid.
We have timeless mode.
Wow.
Balance mode. Actually, I would like to show you balance mode because it's gonna turn on massage seats.
Yeah, I can feel something going on.
On the right.
On the right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my seats are being massaged for sure. But that's an optional. The massage seats are obviously it comes in a package of some kind, right?
Yes. So we have two different packages. We have Premier line and we have Premier Plus.
So how much are those packages? So this car, as it is, how much is it?
So this particular, I should double check in my system because, as you know, all cars are different. It depends on the spec, right?
But in order to get a massage seats, you're looking probably around 70 grand.
So for massage seats, it comes automatically with Premier Plus line. Premier Plus line costs around $4,000.
$4,000. Okay, so let's put it in sport mode. Let's see how it accelerates.
Yes.
Vivid, personal, green, core, go-kart. There we go. Now this was worth. Hopefully my phone will pick up on that sound because it's it's quite something.
Yeah.
So let's just slow down and let's do it again to experience the sound. Oh yeah, the whole screen changed now.
Yeah. Sorry, another another red light camera.
Na czerwonym sygnale. Okay, now we understand everything. Okay, so let's just accelerate again to get the nice sound. Yeah, it's very nice. So even though on paper the rear-wheel drive Volvo is actually quicker with 5.1 seconds versus 5.5 for this car, this is really quite, it's quick enough, and again, you get standard all-wheel drive, where on the Volvo you have to pay extra for all-wheel drive. Then again, on the Volvo, once you pay for the all-wheel drive, you are getting 422 horsepower, 3.5 seconds from 0 to 100. So in its all-wheel drive version, the Volvo is much quicker. But then again, it's a much smaller car. So you have to kind of choose which one you prefer. Personally, I would prefer this made in Germany BMW product than made in China Volvo. Not only because of its size. So that would be my personal preference, and we'll be able to say more about the Mini Countryman SE when we get it for a full test for a full week from BMW headquarters, and hopefully soon, one of these days. Yeah, so we can end the video probably right here, so you can stop it, and then we'll Okay, so here we are inside the 2025 Volvo EX30. We did a quick side-by-side with the Mini Countryman SE, and this is obviously a smaller car. In terms of the pricing, it's priced just under the price of the Mini Countryman SE, and it's also priced just under our Audi Q4, believe it or not. This being the rear-wheel drive Ultra version, which is top of the line rear-wheel drive, and this car as is around 63,000. If you want to go to all-wheel drive, it's going to be another. If you want to go for an Ultra all-wheel drive, you're going to be around 67,000. So again, we told you about the battery size and the power for both versions, and then when we put it side by side with the Mini Countryman SE, we'll tell you about the comparison with that car. For now, we just wanted to show you the interior. The first thing is first, because this being the Plus and the Ultra has this fixed glass sunroof. It's huge, stretches all the way to the back. The standard core, of course, just has a steel roof, so you wouldn't have this immense glass sunroof. The thing about, because it's such a small size car, is the rear legroom. So right now I'm in the comfortable position, and you can show that there's very little, if no space left for legs for any passengers behind me. And you can see the cameraman's the space for his legs are almost non-existent, and a person here would have to be a very not very tall person sitting in the front to be able to sit comfortably. So it is a very small car. It's smaller than our Audi Q4, which is priced very similarly. It's smaller than the Mini Countryman SE that we just came out, which is also priced very close to this car. So it is a much smaller car. Same with the rear room in the trunk, including the underfloor space for storage. The car, as you can see, everything is done through the center screen, just like in a Tesla style. So this is not a screen. This is simply a driver monitoring system, which makes sure that you're paying attention to the road ahead. The problem with that is there's so many functions are concentrated on the center screen that you constantly have to go to the screen, and sometimes you have to use a combination of screen and buttons on the steering wheel in order to change settings, and then you get warnings. God forbid you're driving while doing that, you're gonna get a warning that you're not paying attention. So it's kind of really strange. So the difference with, for example, the Mini Countryman, which also has most of the functions concentrated on the center screen. However, they still have some buttons below. Here, there's literally no buttons. The only buttons you see here are these window opening buttons, and this is the Volkswagen style. There's only 2 buttons. So to open the front windows, you press the button. In order to open the rear, you have to press the rear button, and I don't even know how it works. No, still didn't work. You have to press the rear button. Now that the rear light is on, that's how you open the rear window. There you go. That's the rear. Okay. And now to go back to the front, you see the rear is lit up. You have to make sure that it's off, and now again you're operating the front window. So this is kind of the Volkswagen ID4 method, except Volkswagen is located on the door. Here it's located centrally, and you have lock-unlock buttons here as well, but these are the only buttons. Everything else is done through the screen. In terms of the levers here, you have your indicators. On the left, in the same stock, you have the control for wipers, front and rear, and of course you have your flashing of the headlights. Turn on the high beam. You can do it through here, forward, and then flashing. The high beam is done through here. This is your gear stock, which is fine. Your DNR and parking is here. But for example, in order to switch the lights on manually, you have to go through this car menu. So you have your quick control. So you have this home button, then you have to go to the car controls. Oh, by the way, before we forget, the Google system, which controls the car, there is no Android Auto. I'm not sure about Apple CarPlay, but there is no Android Auto, so I cannot use Android Auto on my Android phone. You have to use the Google system, and in this car, it's basically the Google system is offline. So as you can see, there's not even a navigation. The screen is blank. For some reason, it's not, the Google system is offline, so you cannot use any verbal commands, and you cannot even use navigation. When we started this test, the navigation was working offline. Now it's not even working at all. So that's quite unfortunate. Also, the lag on the screen is kind of quite a bit. So here go to maps. For example, the volume button, we don't want to play the radio, but there's a lag between your controls on the steering wheel and the system here. So again, let's go back to some of the basic functions. So for example, it was snowing very heavily during our test. So here there's a button where you can turn on both front and rear. So you can do it separately using the screen. But if you don't want to fiddle in very difficult conditions like the other day in very snowy roads, etc., there's a button here where you can activate both the maximum defrost front and rear all at the same time. Very noisy, so let's turn it off. So there's a bit of lag there again. So this is kind of a good thing that you can actually have a maximum front and rear defrost. And this is what we had to use under very snowy conditions because all the windows were fogging up. So we drove the first section of the road using this method. Anyway, so controls, again, one of those issues with cars that have everything concentrated, just like Tesla on the main screen. Very distracting when you're driving and trying to operate it. Let's go back to the screen. So for example, to turn on your lights, you're on auto, and whenever you change anything on the light settings, you have to press OK on the screen. So try doing that while you're driving. Even turning the fog lamp. There you go. We had to drive with the rear fog lamp in the very snowy conditions. Again, you have to do all this So first of all, you change anything, turn the lights on, you have to click the OK button on the steering wheel. Now, this is so annoying and so dangerous because you have to take your eyes off the road to do a 2-stage, 3-stage. You have to get to the screen where the lights are on, turn them on, confirm with the steering wheel, all this while driving. So this is really not good. There should be an easier way to do it. My guess is that they will introduce lots more buttons in the future, because this is not good. And again, since we're comparing with the Mini has a head-up display right here in addition to this one screen. So there's a lot of information right there in front of you. Here, all the information is here, kind of like Tesla. One pedal driving here is turned off. Again, you have to go through the menus. There's a way you can program this button. Normally, this is a menu button. You change. Right now, it's programmed to change the display. As you can see, there's 2 different kinds of display. This is basic display with a speed in the center. Then you have speed on the left, and this gives you your autopilot display. And then you can reprogram this button to also turn on the one pedal driving. Otherwise, you do it through here. So you have the quick controls. Right now it's off. Right now it's on. And it will tell you the one pedal driving is unlike any other car we drove. Let's just say it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't come to a full stop. We couldn't figure it out over 1 week of driving this car. So again, a lot of functions here. So again, adjust mirrors, just like in a Tesla. You have to do it through the screen and then using the controls here. What else do we have? So we have the ambience. The ambience is very nice. We took pictures at night of the various ambience. So this is Northern Light. This is the one we use that we like the most, which is kind of a greenish color. Then you have the second one is Nordic Twilight, kind of more orangey. Midsummer, it's kind of yellowish. Then you have Archipelago, which is kind of reddish. And then finally you have the Forest Bath, which is kind of a greenish color. So we believe that especially now in the winter, Northern Lights is the most suitable. So you can check out our Facebook page. We posted the night pictures of all the ambient lighting. It basically stretches, it's in the doors, and it's all along here, the main console here and there as well. Okay, so basically that's it for car controls. Let's put it, in order to have your consumption, which is what we had on the screen since we didn't have any navigation, and that's one of the reasons we could not precondition the battery ahead of our DC sessions, because there is no navigation. So the car should precondition your battery when you set navigation for a fast charger, and that's why one of the reasons we got crappy speeds on the DC. In order to let's see the car again. Car status, and then trip info is right here, so that we'll talk about the consumption screen. So this kind of looks like a Tesla. It's like a graph. You have 50-kilometer graph or 100-kilometer graph. You have your current trip, and you have the since last reset. Okay, that being said, let's take you for a test drive and talk about the results of our testing. So we're gonna do a bit of side roads, side streets, and then we'll take you on the highway to try and turn on the autopilot. So the autopilot only comes in the top trim, the ultra trim. The plus, kind of the mid trim, gives you a nice sunroof, etc. So to get the autopilot, you have to go with the ultra, the most expensive. So far, when we did our first impressions on the EX30, we went to a dealer and they said that all the cars that were pre-sold, they were all-wheel drive. We even met one Porsche owner that bought a EX30 all-wheel drive just because he could not resist the deal for 3.5 seconds acceleration for about 65 grand. That's a kind of a no-brainer, right? And this being a small car, if it's only 2 person in the family, maybe a couple of small kids in the back, you don't care about the space in the rear row, this would be probably the top seller. I don't think too many people will go for the rear-wheel drive version. Even with these winter tires, yesterday we had a huge snowstorm up north, and you can see the pictures on our Facebook page. So this was a real winter test of this rear-wheel drive Volvo. And for anyone that travels in the snow or lives in an area which has lots of snow in the winter, I would not recommend going for a rear-wheel drive, because even with winter tires, we were stuck a couple of times, and the driving on snow-covered roads was a little hairy. So a little scary as well. So yeah, for $3,000 difference, mind you, it's not really $3,000 difference between rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, because you cannot get the core model with all-wheel drive. You have to go Ultra, which is the mid-trim, middle trim, and then you can order all-wheel drive. So really, the cheapest all-wheel drive is the Plus, the Plus all-wheel drive, which is about 62, 63 grand. Still not bad a deal. However, again, this is a small car. Remember, this is a very small car, and it's priced basically same as our Audi Q4, same as Countryman SE, both of which are substantially bigger than this car. So I'm not really sure what the niche for this car would be. My guess is that, again, because of the performance, 3.5 seconds all-wheel drive for 65 grand or even 67 grand is still okay if you don't care about the space. Basically, it's the lowest price point for such a powerful car. This is, by the way, the same car as the Smart One Brabus. The Ultra all-wheel drive version has the same power, and that's a very fast little car as well. It's built by the same company, Geely, that owns Volvo and many other brands. So this platform is shared across the various Geely brands like the Volvo. Not the Polestar yet. There is no Polestar equivalent to this. So Volvo, Smart, Zeekr, etc., a few other brands in the Geely portfolio. This car is also made in China, and it's competing against a lot of cars made in Germany. So Mini Countryman SE is built in Germany. Our Audi Q4 is also built in Germany, and it's probably mostly due to the Chinese tariffs implemented by US and Canadian governments that is priced so high. So we'll see how successful Volvo will be with selling this car. And again, I think the all-wheel drive version might do okay in our market for families with small kids or for just couples with no kids. Even here, so we're gonna accelerate. There's no drive modes in the Volvo. None of the Volvos have drive modes. You can use kind of eco-climate, but that's about it. You can't change so you're always in kind of sport mode, and it accelerates very strongly, even though this is the 268 horsepower rear-wheel drive version, 5.1 seconds again, versus 3.5 for the all-wheel drive version, but this is powerful enough. If you don't care about the all-wheel drive, if in your area you don't get a lot of snow, maybe this would be a way to go. However, there's better deals to be had at the price range of, even at 57,000, you're very close to the Audi Q4 and Mini Countryman SE, both of which start only a couple of grand above that. So I still have difficult time wrapping my head around the fact that this car, as it is, so the Ultra here is about 62, 63, is more than our all-wheel drive Audi Q4. Okay, so let's turn on the autopilot. Boom, it's on right now. It's not fully hands-free. It is, you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. There we go, so it's steering now, and we're a set speed. Let's increase the speed to the highway speed. Boom, it's done now, so you increase, decrease. It's a one touch button, so you press that button and it turns on the auto steer. You can use there you go. It's a warning to hold the steering wheel, so let's touch on the steering wheel. So you basically turn it on with this one button. You can have adaptive cruise without auto steer, so you turn on the auto steer on and off using this button here. So there you go. Now it's a simple adaptive cruise, no auto steer. And to turn it back on, you turn on this button, and we're back in auto steer right now. But you have to keep holding the steering wheel. So let's talk quickly about the consumption. Again, remember, this car has the top size, the largest rims, 20-inch rims, and it has the winter tires, which are 245 wide. It's a very large size for just such a small car. So visually it looks great, but it affects the consumption. As you can see here, we've driven 350 kilometers mostly on our on this car over the last week, and we took it to our lake house and back, and we have the average consumption is about 24, and that includes a lot of in-city driving. We kept the climate on the entire time. We did not do a hyper mile exercise because it was pointless, because it's cold and very snowy. Now, in most extreme winter conditions, when we were driving the side roads on the snow, both wipers going, climate on at 20 degrees. We had the front maximum defrost, front and rear, both wipers going, steering heat, seat heat, and climate at 20. The consumption going very slowly. We're going only around 50, 60 kilometers per hour max. The consumption was all the way up to like 31, 32 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So in the most extreme winter conditions, and it wasn't even that cold, it was like -1, -2. So very high consumption, partly due to the climate, the winter tires, and also driving on snow. Obviously, it takes its toll on consumption. So that being said, under those conditions, which weren't even super cold, your range would be barely over 200 kilometers based on this consumption. The highway consumption before the snow hit was still around 26. So again, that doesn't even give you quite 300 kilometers range. So where does this 420 kilometer rating come from? Probably in ideal conditions on summer tires, maybe without climate, and going not more than 100 kilometers. We'll have to retest this car in the summer to see if we can even meet the rated range. Based on our test, you cannot reach anywhere close even to the rated range under winter conditions on winter tires. So that's about it, for us. Again, hopefully you will enjoy the side-by-side comparison that we have with the Mini Countryman SE. Out of the two, our personal choice would definitely be the Mini Countryman SE. And it's built by BMW alongside the BMW iX1. 300 horsepower all-wheel drive starting at 59,000. Even if you fully load it with options, you're going to be around 75. And this car fully loaded is 67. Yes, it's quicker, but it's smaller. So it really depends, what you prefer in terms of your lifestyle, etc., etc. And also, don't be fooled by the rated range difference. The Mini Countryman SE is rated at only 340 kilometers on this with the same battery size. The Mini is rated at 340 versus 420 on this rear-wheel drive Volvo. But in real life, the difference would be much smaller. And the difference is mostly due to the size and weight of the car, the Mini being a larger car of the two. Obviously, you're going to have less electric range at full battery. But in real life, you're going to find that the difference is much smaller between the two cars. So that's about it. If you have any questions about our test results, don't hesitate to comment under the video. We'll try and answer your questions. And as usual, do not forget to press the subscribe button on our channel to be informed when the next video is coming out. We have lots more electric cars and plug-in hybrid cars coming for review on our channel. So as usual, we have to thank our sponsor, Condos and Castles Realty Inc. You can find them at www.condosandcastles.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the